This is the ugliest pumpkin on the internet. Don't ask why I bought it. Ask where I bought it. I was at Micheals when I lost the ability to think for myself. Makeup cures ugly. Let's see if paint does too. This is me painting a pumpkin. It's boring to watch, even at high speed. It's boring to do in real life. If you enjoy painting pumpkins, great. I totally did not enjoy painting this pumpkin. It took 2 layers to cover the ugliness of this pumpkin, and in between that, I had to let it dry. That's even more boring. To keep you from being bored, I'm going to give you my thoughts on foam pumpkins. If you live in a warmer climate and you don't want a bunch of rotting vegetation sitting around, these are a necessity. And if you're making crafts to sell, and you're old school like me, and you want your pumpkins to have a semicircular shape, a foam pumpkin is going to be your best bet. They're all made the same way no matter how much you pay for them, and you would have a hard time making it look worse no matter what you did to it. The slowest part about all of this is literally waiting for the paint to dry, and you may be tempted to bust out a heat gun and try to dry it with that. You should never use a heat gun to dry your pumpkin. Foam pumpkins are made of styrofoam, and it is highly flammable. Do not do this. You can catch it on fire. You can catch your house on fire. You can burn yourself. All kinds of horrible things could happen if you use a heat gun on a styrofoam pumpkin. You see that little chicken skin looking texture coming out and the crackling? That is from my pumpkin getting too much heat to it, and it's starting to bubble under the paint. Highly, highly dangerous. So this is really just a what not to do video. That texture and paint crackling is really a warning sign that you should stop. No matter how convenient this is, definitely should not be something that you pursue. And nobody really likes texture and crackling paint. I mean, smooth is the way to go. Smooth surface all day. I mean, just look at that. Look at all those little bumpy, knobby things. The cracks. I mean, I don't know if I can save this. I don't know. I may just have to start all over again and just go fresh with another pumpkin and let it air dry next time. Lesson learned, though, so just learn from my mistakes and don't do what I do. Let's take advantage of this. Let's make it all rusty and crusty since it's already kind of crackled. I'm using a homemade solution that will allow me to rust over top of this paint. And if you're wondering how I make this solution, I do have a video on my channel with all the ingredients you need to make this solution for yourself. Be sure to check it out. You only need 4 ingredients to do this, so it's pretty easy, and most of the ingredients you already probably have. You can rust anything with this solution, including slate. So this is a slate tile. I've already rusted that. Pretty cool stuff. Once the rust solution's on, then I just spray to activate the rust, and it's going to give us a really cool rusty patina. You'll start to see a really nice rust color change almost instantly, so just spray it and let it drip down and then dry it. For this, I did let it dry naturally. I did not use a heat gun, so all jokes aside, definitely you kind of want this to dry naturally on its own so that you get a really nice crust. This is looking really cool, just the way it is, but I'm one of those people, I like to be extra, so if doing all this to this pumpkin wasn't enough, I totally decided to add something else. Distress Oxide Spray in Brushed Corduroy. This is some neat stuff, but it's very messy. I'm just going to forewarn you, if you decide to use it, it's going to go everywhere. When you first spray it on, you're going to feel like you ruined it, because I totally did. I mean, it really looks gross. It's totally not the color that's on the outside of the bottle. When you spray it, it doesn't look the same. And it sticks to nails like permanent marker. But thankfully, when it dries, you get a color that's pretty darn close to what the bottle looked like. And you can see all of our cool rusty tones coming through. So awesome stuff. And just when you think we were finally finished and happy with the end result, here comes the spray bottle. This time it's just water though, and with this oxide spray, it is recommended to use a little bit of water just because it is a water reactive formula. So you just want to mist it a little bit to get nice little oxidized mottled effects. And that is straight from the label on the spray. At first, it's not going to look like anything's happening except for I'm just reactivating that ugly, gross green color. But as it dries, it starts looking super duper cool and pretty close to a real pumpkin. Use whatever method you want to dry at this stage. And I will just say that it may look like I have the heat gun extremely close to this pumpkin. But honestly, I do not. It's just the angle of the camera. And it appears that I have it right on top of it. But I actually do have it quite a little bit of a distance away from it. Safety first. This is the end result of all that hard work and layers of paint, rust, and oxide spray. It's actually pretty darn cool this way, but my God, it took forever. It may have only been 6 minutes for you guys to watch so far, but this was pretty much near an hour to do this. A good percentage of that was me just trying to videotape it, but my suggestion would be, if you're planning on doing this, to assembly line it and just spray paint these suckers. Just get a spray paint can and just go nuts. I don't think that the type of paint that you use is going to make much of a difference. My pumpkin's all done, but it looks kind of boring and plain. Needs a little something. What else can I do? Oh, I know. A little skeleton hand. Look at there. Instant Halloween decor. Takes you straight from fall right into the All Hallows Eve. Just a simple little skeleton hand that came from Micheals. And no, it did not come exactly like this with all that really cool aged look to it. I actually used my rust solution on a skeleton hand as well. The rust solution is really a wonderful thing to use, especially during fall and Halloween. It gives it a nice aged, authentic look that you just can't buy in a store. You can buy the ingredients though and make it yourself, which makes it all the more cooler. The skeleton hand was a little bit easier to do than the pumpkin. I just did one coat of paint, put my rust solution on, and then I sprayed the rust activator to activate the rust. Imagine if you did a full body skeleton like this. All your friends would want to know where you got it from. If it's a good friend, you can tell them your secret and tell them to subscribe to my channel.